Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead Quest. Amanda here. It is bee package day, so come along with me and we will install my honeybees into their new hive.
Since my bees died over winter, I had 2 extra honey frames I could put into my hive rather than having to deal with the inline feeder and sugar water. And here is just all the materials needed to prep and get ready to install my bees.
Alright guys, let's install the bee package now.
So with my hive tool, I'm just removing this can of sugar water. It's feeding the packaged bees. And as I lift it out, you need something that's going to cover the hole as to block the bees from flying out, as you'll see here. And then to the right is a tab that you can slide over that contains the queen bee. And she's covered with a bunch of the worker bees, as you can see here, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop them into the hive, and I'll give you a good look at her. Had one extra there. She's good and healthy and ready to go. So now the tricky part is removing the cork that will leave a hole for the queen to escape, and you actually plug that hole with a marshmallow so the worker bees can eat through and let her out. But here I've actually pushed the cork through the hole on accident rather than pulling it out. So I actually was kind of concerned that it was going to block her way and hinder her ability to escape. But I went ahead and just plugged the hole with the marshmallow anyways.
Plug the queen in with a marshmallow and the workers will eat the marshmallow and she'll come out in the next day or so.
Now I'm going to go ahead and use the hook on the side of the queen box to put her on one of the frames with her screen facing out so that she can be tended to by the worker bees. And now I am dumping the whole bee package into the hive. It looks like that's pretty aggressive, but trust me, it's the way that you do it, and it doesn't hurt the bees at all. They're really tough. And as you can see, they are just kind of angry and swarming around. And even though there are bees still in the package, you just put it by the entrance of the hive and they'll work it out on their own. And here I kind of get a little overzealous with the smoke, but I just wanted to cover their distress hormones so that they don't get too angry and sting happy. My husband Mason was filming and he has a veil for a hat, but his hands weren't covered. And then here you go ahead and quickly, but as gently as you can, place the frames back in.
Yep, they're after me. Ah!
And that last part kind of explains itself. Poor Mason was getting nervous and just dive bombed by bees, so he ran inside. But I got the bees in and the top on.
So it's the next day. I'm gonna go ahead and break into the hive and check that little queen box and make sure that they were able to get her out even with that cork in. Hey guys, so it's actually 2 days later. We had a little bit of drama concerning just installing the bees. So when I was installing, this is the little box that the queen comes in, and as you can see, there's a cork in there. And the screw that you use is supposed to be used like a wine bottle opener, and you remove the cork. And last year's cork was probably like twice this size. Like I barely pushed on this cork and it went in. So essentially it took longer for me to get in and out of the hive because I was desperately trying to remove the cork. I was kind of trying to pin it with the screw and try to remove it because I was just worried it would hinder the queen's ability to escape. And my husband, he's the one that was filming. He has a hat like veil for that would protect his face from bee stings. But his hands were exposed, and last year he did get stung, so I think he was a little bit worried about getting stung again this year. So he actually ran inside. I just told him to go ahead and go in because he was getting dive bombed by a bunch of bees, but it was because it took me extra long to try and get this out and then to replace the frames. And I checked today, and it's empty. So it looks like they ate through the marshmallow and were able to get her past this. So this little cork being in there didn't hinder her ability to get out. I was a little bit worried, but she's out and she's in there somewhere. So hopefully she's going to be going on her mating flight soon, and we'll start laying and producing eggs. So that's really exciting. And I kept last year's queen box, so I'm going to keep this one as well. Maybe I'll just keep each one from each year, because I guess it's a good practice to actually re-queen your hive each year, just for like good performance and good genetics out of your queen. One of my mentors, I guess that he'll keep old queens if they're really good producers, if they're like really good queens that lay really well and they produce good genes, and he'll put them in nukes and save them just in case like he loses a queen or he gets like a hot hive. A hot hive is essentially a hive of bees that for whatever reason is mean. I don't think that's as much of a problem in Washington state. It can certainly happen. I hear more about that in southern states, where some people, I've read stories where people can't even step outside of their house, and their beehive that's like across their yard, the bees will start dive bombing them. So that's what it means to have a hive or a hot hive. They're just angry and don't want you to get near. A lot of the times that can either mean their queen died, or they're aggravated for some reason, or they're just extra protective. I really hear about this a lot in the southern states, where you can actually get like the hybrid African killer bees. And if you're from the south and you beekeep and I'm completely wrong, go ahead and comment below. I'm learning too. That's just like what I've heard. So, but anyways, so far it's a success. The bees have been installed. The queen is out of her little box that she comes in, and so far so good. It's kind of a cold, overcast day today, so they're not really out and about as much as they would be. When it's like cold and overcast or it's raining, that's when a lot of like comb will be drawn out, and they'll do a lot of work in the hive because they don't feel particularly like motivated to leave. So hopefully they're just getting a lot of work done, and I hope that the queen can go out on her mating flight soon so that we can start getting some eggs and larvae and production. All right guys, that's it for me today. Bye.